Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
All right, everybody, here we are. Welcome to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. We're here live, as per usual, on our Thursday nights at Northern Superior Brewing Company, May 2nd, 2019. Snowy yesterday, May 1st. I don't want to say it's the first day of spring because I think that's back in April sometime, but regardless, snowing May 1st. But there's a private event going on here tonight, so they've stashed me for my intimate recording, made it even more intimate. We're here in the brew house at Northern Superior Brewing Company. Put me back with my favorite audience, all the different beers here in various states of excellence. It's your host tonight is myself, Justin Hykel. If you hadn't caught on to that already, hearing my nice voice soothing you, either awake, to sleep, at the gym, on your drive, wherever you're listening. As you heard last night at Northern Superior, Dave's off for the month. Vacation, as we like to call it here on the Game Sports Show. Everybody gets a nice vacation. Dave hasn't had one in about 4 years, so he can have one for a little while, I guess. He's going to be spending some time with his boy Kendrick before hopefully he gets adopted this month. We want to get that out there, the hashtag Adopt Kendrick. You can catch any of our Facebook pages. We've been sharing the link to see this big, fantastic, wonderful dog that you could reach out to Northern Critters and potentially bring home to your family. I would highly recommend it. I know that Dave would highly recommend it. Jamie and the rest of the hosts at the Game Sports Show would recommend that you hashtag Adopt Kendrick. We're, as always, live and podcasting on thegamesportshow.com, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, and through our social media outlets, YouTube, Facebook, the Instagram. Don't hesitate to follow us at The Game Sports Show on Facebook and at The Game Sports Show SSM on Instagram. As usual, our board operator is Scott Nason over in Sioux, Michigan, making us sound wonderful, or by us, I mean myself, tonight, so he's got to do extra work. Having to hear me the entire time. Sorry, Scott, you got to listen to this later. And our partners, as usual, you can hear us on the Eagle 95.1. I'm not going to go through the sponsor list because I don't have it memorized like Dave does, but I'd like to thank everyone, all of our sponsors, and the partners of the show, especially the listeners, for making us part of your night this evening, day tomorrow, or wherever you're listening to us. Make sure you can always touch base with previous editions of the Game Sports Show, either when we recorded them earlier in the week, the Wicked Sister shows, previous editions. You want to go back and listen to some of our football rants, you can do that. Go to the Podbean page there, and you can download all the previous episodes to your phone. Make sure, touching base with us for some of the shows this month, some of the rescheduling we have going on. We didn't have an Icebreaker show Tuesday, and we won't have any Icebreaker show this month. We're going to be waiting until Dave returns forward in June. Watch too much Avengers this weekend. The time travel's got me going crazy. Next week, we're not at the Wicked Sister or Northern Superior, but we're going to be slamming everything together in one super show at Sportscenter. So you're probably going to be hearing Jamie, Primo's going to be there, myself, some of the, maybe Dustin will make an appearance out of retirement, vacation, whatever you want to call that, wherever he's been. But so one super show next week. We're going to throw that all together. As for tonight's agenda, we're going to be a little pressed for time because I'm probably going to fire through all of this. It's my first time hosting a show here solo, so nerves. Still by myself in the brew house here, but nerves are. I got all of you going to listen to me, so nerves are high. Tonight's agenda, though, we're going to have some local topics off the start and touch base with what's going on with the T-Birds going into the off season. Second part of the show, we're going to be talking about the playoffs, the NHL news, what's going on there. A couple games happened, maybe some upsets. I'm not sure. Well, we'll have to figure out what's going on there. And we're going to finish up with the 3 up and 3 down in the world of baseball. Have some professional baseball news, what I know, and the tidbits that I have to offer, and the local stuff. We're going to touch just a little information if you want to get out and play some local ball this season. But we're going to jump right into it right now, everybody, with our local hockey news. Like I said, the Soo Thunderbirds, there's they finished the season, unfortunately, with a loss to Hearst. A tough series. That was some good hockey, but, unfortunately the Soo didn't come out on top. But, I've had a week or two off now, and May 11th and 12th, we're looking at spring training camp starting so far. If you want the information for that, go to the Soo Thunderbirds Facebook page and or the website. They will have more information for you. Also, just to touch base, if you're looking to get in shape, for either men's league, you've got some little ones that you're looking to keep busy throughout the summer. There's going to be a ton of off-season camps going on. One of the ones we want to mention right now, the Driven Hockey Camp through Dom DeLuca, and the other schools are going to be available as stuff comes available. We will have the information for you. We're going to present it on the show for you, or you could reach out to myself, Jamie. You can reach out to Dave right now. I'm not sure what sort of feedback you're going to get from him. It's tough. I got to basically get to him through a carrier pigeon right now. So, and I want to make sure we mentioned the 3-on-3 tournament we had last weekend. big tournament here locally. I know our fellow what do we want to say, host, commentator, friend, Jamie, basically the guy that's been helping hold us together, with Dave this winter, keeping me on my toes. He volunteered the 3-on-3 tournament, and man, there was a ton of proceeds raised going for cancer research. That's a huge cause. Everyone at the Game Sports Show appreciates that. But I do want to mention right now before I forget. I don't want to forget about it when we go to the 3-up, 3-down, because that's going to be a quick 3-up, 3-down. So if you want to get into local baseball this summer, you can go out to SooBall.com to register for a team. Spots are filling up quick, though. There are still some spots available in the open league, but you don't want to wait on this one. You're going to be stuck on your couch pretty soon, wondering what your buddies are doing on the weekend. You're going to message everyone. They're all going to be on a team playing ball, and then you're going to be stuck at home on the couch. So you don't want to miss out on that. Register over at SooBall.com before it's too late. Before we go into our first break here, though, number one, I want to apologize for some of the ums that are coming out here tonight. That's like I said, the nerves again, but I want to remind listeners right now, I touched on it last night, the mental health thing. Again, you got friends you haven't heard from in a little while, or people that are going through some rough times. Don't hesitate to reach out to them. And if you happen to be going through a hard time, or not necessarily a hard time, you're just not feeling like yourself. You've had a couple weeks where it's been a little off. You can't kickstart your routine. There are resources out there. It's tough to take that first step and talk to them, but even if you want to reach out to one of us here, we can point you in a direction. We've all been in those shoes, and it's a tough first step to take, but once you do it, you're better. I'm sure I could come up with some sort of inspirational hockey quote here, but I don't really have one. I should have pre-looked that up, and I don't think one from Goon is appropriate here. So we're going to move on. Quick shout out to our sponsors here before we take the quick break. You're going to hear the commercials, so I'm not going to spit through them again. But remember, you're listening live here to the Game Sports Show at Northern Superior Brewing Company in the Brew House.
The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Play Museum right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's a northern thing.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and special edition home to the game, Silver Creek Golf Course, located on 104 Bellow Lake Road, Garden River, Ontario. And also shout out thank you to Silver Creek GM Jamie Henderson. Silver Creek Golf Course has many specials to offer for 18 holes, 9 holes, and even Twilight Deal specials. It does not matter what your level of golf game is, it is a must to enjoy the scenic course, memorable experiences that Silver Golf Course offers. Silver Creek also offers a Thursday wing night for you to enjoy food after a stellar time on the course. You can book your tee time by phone or online at golfsilvercreek.com. Silver Creek Golf Course, where all are welcome to play.
The Game Sports Show wants to thank its original home, partner, and sponsor since 2015, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, named the Soo's best sports bar for 3 years in a row. Sportscenter Bar and Grill is located on 624 Wellington Street West in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Make sure to come on down to Sportscenter to enjoy the great atmosphere with great cold beverages available, including those delicious Molson products. Don't forget about their famous 75-cent wing nights on Wednesdays. They're truly the best wings in town. Like and follow SportsCenter on Facebook at SportsCenter SSM. We look forward to seeing you today. SportsCenter Bar and Grill, the Soo's best sports bar.
The Wicked Sister, Soo, Michigan. Check TripAdvisor, ranked right towards the top. Awarded the Certificate of Excellence, as well as voted #1 pub in the UP. The Wicked Sister has managed to create a casual menu that offers unique, creative, and sometimes healthy offerings that rivals menu selections of any big city. Burgers and starters, snacks and shareables, soups and salads, sandwiches and tapas. On Ashman Street, Soo, Michigan. Welcome to the Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsoo.as.me-. The Salon, making the Soo beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop for over 40 years meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
This is Andy Frost, and you are tuned into the only regional sports show in the Twin Saults, the Game Sports Show.
All right, we're back. Part 2 of the Game Sports Show tonight from coming at you live from Northern Superior Brewing Company here in the brew house. Just me hanging out with some beers in the back room here. We're going to dive right into the second part of the show here tonight, get into what everyone's looking forward to, the NHL playoffs. So just some news, still reeling from the Leafs loss. We'll get to that. You know, we always, as always, got to touch on the Leafs news, especially me here solo. They'll probably kick me out once I shut the lights off, but I'm going to touch base here. Columbus and Boston. Columbus is up in the series right now, which all of us Leaf fans are happy about. Columbus is leading the series 2-1. Going back to Columbus tonight, should be another crazy game in Columbus. That the crowd was nuts. Super, super loud in there. The guy with the Captain America shield that sits behind Tortorella kills me every time because he bangs the shield on the glass. That's got to be so loud. But Matt Duchene, we're at the trade deadline, even going into the end of the season. Everyone was talking about, was the Duchene trade? Was that a good idea? Is Columbus, going to be eating crow on that one? Because it looked like they weren't even going to make the playoffs. Now I think Matt Duchene's 5 goals into the playoffs so far, looking like a man who's maybe trying to find a new team out there, but it's going good for him in Columbus right now. And obviously the other thing there, we're gonna touch on the Brad Marchand punch to the back of the head because he's a little rat shithead. I don't like it. I think there should have been some kind of suspension because it's not like they've suspended anyone else in the playoffs who's got a track record of not being able to control their tempers or acting out and acting immaturely. It's not like they've suspended anyone else in a series for that at all. So I could see why they wouldn't want to make that landmark decision to suspend someone who's acting like an asshole on the ice. But in all seriousness, given the concussion issues that has come to the forefront of every sporting league so far, you'd like to think that the league would want to nip that in the butt and at least come out and say it should have been a penalty afterwards. They've been pretty good for that in the playoffs so far, coming out and saying what should have been and shouldn't, or should have been and shouldn't have been a penalty. After games, this Marchand thing, I don't know. I don't like it, but I think Columbus can tie. Columbus can tie a bow on this series going forward here, and we don't have to worry about any more of these Marchand antics going forward. Plus, nobody hasn't licked anyone, so we got that going for us. Moving on, we'll keep it. We'll bounce back and forth here between the East and the West, keep you on your toes. San Jose and Colorado. I mean, this series, I didn't really know what to think going into it. Colorado getting hot against Calgary there. Mike Smith looked unreal in Game 1 for Calgary, and then the wheels came off. Colorado got hot, and man, once the Avalanche get rolling, that team, I don't think you can stop them. And people say, oh, they're the one-line wonder, or they have no one past McKinnon and Landeskog, but McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, there's another guy at least that I could name there. The defense isn't bad. Johnson, Tyson Barrie. So there's two other guys. Cole Makar coming up from college, looking unbelievable. I mean, that was probably the steal of the playoffs so far. I know he's been the steal of my DraftKings lineups for me lately. So, but I think San Jose might have this one. If you're going through the teams in the playoffs right now and you're trying to find a storyline to get behind, Joe Thornton getting to the Stanley Cup Finals and maybe getting a cup, I think I'm okay with that one. I'd like to get on board with that one. With little Joe Pavelski not playing for him right now, at least Jumbo Joe, he's holding it down, and I'd like to see him move on. I think they'll probably put their foot on the throat of Colorado tonight, and maybe take a 3-1 lead in that series. But you never know. I mean, they let Colorado back into it. We could have a 7-gamer here real quick. Move on here. I mean, the West is St. Louis, Dallas. I don't know where to go with this series. It's a crapshoot. Tied 2-2 right now in the series, so it's a best of 3 going into the last 3 games. If anyone out there on social media caught the solo fan watching the Stars game out in the rain on the big screen there in the thunderstorm the other night, that was pretty cool. But man, this series, I think it's all on the goalies in this one. I mean, again, you got some firepower coming from both ends. Radulov, Seguin, Jamie Benn on the Stars. All the big shots that got called out back in the fall there, coming up against a team that everyone had pretty well written off, even come January, the St. Louis Blues. Jaden Swartz woke up the other night. Tarasenko looks pretty good. Ryan O'Reilly looks like a man who's got something to prove. I mean, that defense isn't bad either. But the goalies, it's Binnington, Calder nominee, potentially an Andrew Raycroft reincarnation. A little tougher though, a little nonsense. The bench the other night there, going by Ben Bishop, especially after Ben Bishop took the two-handed, what do you want to call it, hillbilly Jim Duggan or hacksaw Jim Duggan smash to the back with the stick there. Some people are saying he's embellishing the hit a little too much, but you take a stick across the back. I mean, it had to have hurt. It couldn't have felt great. I'm not saying he got murdered like he went down, but shit, that probably didn't feel good. Regardless, not a penalty, so at least I don't think it was a penalty. I wasn't paying that much attention in the game, to be completely honest. I was back and forth with basketball playoffs and such too. So, but I think that's going to come down to what goalie's better in the end, and I think Ben Bishop's got that one. So we'll see. I think the Stars might move on out of that one. We might have a San Jose and Dallas come together there. We'll get to the series everyone's talking about here. The Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders. The battle of the two-tier goalie systems. And Curtis McElhinney looking unbelievable out there the other night. The backup that no one else needed. The goalie that no one could have used anywhere else in the season this year. 35 years old, going out there. Oldest goalie in NHL history to make his first playoff start and get the win. That's crazy, the guy out there. One of the things I do want to touch on, though, it bothered the shit out of me in that game. I don't remember what Islanders player it was that scored on him, but he skated by and tapped McElhinney on the head. And Dougie Hamilton skated the other way. If I'm on the ice and some guy scores on my goalie and then goes and taps him on the head, I'm going to give him the old Brad Marchand, it's just the playoffs tap in the head. Like, piss off. That's at the very least, it's disrespectful as a player-to-player thing. going by and tapping a goalie on the head saying thanks for the goal. I mean, I don't know that he said thanks for the goal, but I'm rattled about it. So, moving forward to the other side of the other end of the ice, though, the Islanders. I mean, do we see Leonard get yanked going into Game 4? I mean, it's do or die now. And Leonard's been a hell of a story all season. Definitely having the personal issues and overcoming that, coming to a new team, sharing the crease there with Thomas Greiss, and the two of them made it work all season. Maybe is it a chance to give Leonard a break and try Greiss, see what you got? You got nothing to lose. It's you either win or you go home. So I think at the very least it's worth a shot. Getting out of the playoffs here, though, we're move on to a couple notes. Sad note here, Red Kelly, Leafs Stanley Cup winner, Red Wings Stanley Cup winner, passed away here today at the age of 91. 8 Stanley Cups in total for this guy. I mean, they don't make them like they used to, that's for sure. So definitely condolences out to the family of Red Kelly there. And, we'll move on from the sad note. Other news and notes, Kelly McCrimmon was promoted to the GM of the Vegas Golden Knights today. So a big GM name off the, I guess, potential other GMs for the Edmonton Oilers, not Buffalo Sabres, but even the Seattle yet-to-be names. And George McPhee moves up to the president of hockey operations. So same role Berkey held with the Flames or Brendan Shanahan has with the Leafs right now. So one big name off the GM market, and we'll see what Vegas has going forward. I think that shores them up and kind of protects them going into the expansion draft. They keep their brain trust intact, and Seattle loses a pretty good potential GM candidate. And obviously the moment everyone's been waiting for me to touch on the Leafs stuff we got here. I honestly don't have a whole lot right now. I'm still letting the Leafs playoff loss digest and be upset about it. Let the rage burn until October. The rest of my hair falls out like it does every other summer. Rumors, there's tons of them out there. I mean, the hot one right now, do we trade Nylander? Do we trade Zaitsev? Who's going where? But I think the big one right now everyone's worried about is the Mitch Marner contract. What's the number going to be? Or is there going to be a number? Is he going to get offer sheeted? Are we going to lose him? I'm not totally upset with the idea of the offer sheet, because you get 4 first-round picks back for him, and you have all that cap space still where you could go out and sign another potential scorer. So I know that's not probably the thing most Leaf fans out there want to hear, but realistically, if you don't have to spend $11 or $12 million on a player, sometimes that's not a terrible thing. And you got 2 good centers, you end up with 4 first-round draft picks. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm trying to push that in a different direction, outside of the usual conversations you're going to see everywhere else. As far as the trading players, I think there's probably a handful of teams that would be interested in taking Nylander, but we're going to be taking back probably another contract. So that doesn't free up all that cap space like the social media warriors are saying out there. The Zaitsev contract, I think, is probably one of those ones you'd look to lose in the Seattle expansion draft next year. I think some of the big names, if anyone's going to move this summer, maybe Andreas Johnson or maybe Connor Brown, depending on who becomes the GM out in Edmonton. I know there was talks earlier this year where Connor Brown was potentially a trade candidate to go to the Oilers. So, I don't know, we'll see. I think once the playoffs start to we come into the conference finals and the Stanley Cup finals as teams are eliminated, you're going to get a better feeling for what's going on in the lay of the land of the league, especially heading into the NHL draft. But, moving on from the Leafs, you got Steve Yzerman going back home to the Red Wings, becoming the GM. And that's, for a lot of our Red Wing fans out there, that's a big deal. Stevie Y coming home definitely shores up some positivity amongst Red Wings fans and the Red Wings organization, given that how quickly Tampa kind of took a turn under Stevie Y's guidance. And obviously we're going to touch, I'm going to touch on the Datsuk going back to the Wings. Is that a possibility? His contract in the KHL is up. Does the quote-unquote best GM in the NHL want to bring in a guy to, help these rookies kind of navigate the ups and downs of the NHL, a player that's not necessarily on the roster for the Red Wings right now. They don't really have a veteran superstar. A guy like Datsuk would fill that role almost immediately for him. But we'll move on here. Get out of the hockey talk. I know everyone's probably a little tired. They want to get back into watching the playoffs tonight, so I'll let the games speak for themselves. We'll move into the 3 up, 3 down, talking baseball here. And Jays are playing again later tonight. I believe a 9:30 start time. Vladdy Jr. isn't in the lineup tonight for them, as Tim and Sid told me earlier. So, but on the topic of Vlad Jr., I mean, with our 3 up, 3 down here, he's facing a ton of fastballs right now. Not getting, and everyone's being pretty critical with him. Say, we brought him up too early, kind of roasting the guy a little bit. He's getting a ton of fastballs thrown at him, and really, I mean, this guy gets his weight on one of those, that thing is gone. Like, let him get a couple of those, let him get comfortable. Watch out. I mean, I don't know. These Toronto sports fans kill me sometimes. He's unreal in Buffalo. You bring him up to the major leagues, and because the Jays are fighting and scraping for third place in the division right now, and he's not the immediate savior and brings them into first, everyone's upset about it. Doesn't be realistic out there, Toronto sports fans, and I know that's tricky for you out there. I mean, I'm one of them, so don't take it too hard. Moving on, Noah Syndergaard, cool, as I'm going to put in here, former Blue Jay, pitches 10 Ks. It's a home run last night, and it was never mind. That's my mistake right there. That was today. So I guess that shows me I'm used to my sports going on after work. I forgot baseball goes on during the day too, during the week. I got to get on this American schedule, get an afternoon off, go to the game, have a drink or two, maybe catch a quick dog. But that's an unreal outing today. Shutout. First pitcher to do this in almost 36 years, I think. So that's pretty crazy stuff out there. And as I'd like to add, former Jay doing that for another team. Gonna move on to the 100 list of top prospects. And who is number one, you ask? Because that's news that I'm going to touch on here, whether you like the answer or not. Adley Rutschman, a catcher from Oregon State, could be the first catcher since Joe Mauer to go first overall in Major League Baseball. So that's interesting stuff there. It's nice to see different positions getting the face time or the looks that they wouldn't otherwise get. I mean, honestly, the last catcher that I could think of is, what's his name, plays for the Jays. Looks like my buddy Spencer. I don't even remember his name. Yeah, Russell Martin there. So, he's on the Dodgers, not on the Jays. So, it's a theme to my 3 up, 3 down here. We're going to talk about players that aren't on the Jays and are doing better. But we're gonna conclude the show tonight with my thick layer of sarcasm on the top of it. I know everyone's enjoyed it. And bear with me while I stutter through some of this tonight. It's my first time operating this beast solo, and they left me alone in a tap room full of beer, so you can imagine how that's currently going. But we're going to remind everyone next week going into we're only going to have one show. I know it's upsetting, but you're going to have to get your phones ready, get ready to save it, plan your week around it. One show next week, going to be coming at you live from Sportscenter on Wednesday. We'll have everything coming out there for you on social media, so our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the Podbean page. It's all going to be out there. Again, I'm going to say thanks to Scott Nason for making me sound fantastic for all you listeners out there. And the sponsors of the show. Definitely shout out tonight to Northern Superior Brewing Company for allowing me to come in here and leaving me alone solo in the brew house to tend to myself and act responsibly. Again, shout out to Blake for making all these wonderful, delicious beers for us. And the food and cake that randomly showed up. I mean, everyone knows that I am a big fan of food and especially cake. And the gentleman that burst into the door and asked me if I wanted cake, thank you. I don't know who you are, but it was much appreciated. The vanilla strawberry cake was fantastic. And they've just been presented with chicken wings as well. So, I mean, what a time to be alive here on the Game Sports Show. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Dave's going to be pissed when he finds out that he didn't get wings, cake, left alone in the tap room to himself. It's a fantastic first show for me. But I hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight. And if you want to provide any feedback, by all means, open up, fire me a message on Facebook, shout out something to the Game Sports Show SSM on Instagram or the Game Sports Show on Facebook. And we're gonna have some interesting stuff coming at you this month with Dave off. Maybe some funny new things, maybe some stuff, different guests. I don't know. We're going to be flying by the seat of our pants most of the month here. But again, thanks to you listeners out there, and big thanks to Northern Superior Brewing Company for having me here tonight.